Well, welcome this morning. I'm Scott Larson, Executive Director with the Marshfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and it is my pleasure to be the Master of Ceremonies for our ribbon cutting for the Baltus Express Car Wash here on Central Avenue. What a great opportunity here. It's always fantastic to see the commitment that our businesses have to the community, and now we get to share this opportunity with the Baltus family. That's long history here in Marshfield. And they continue to invest in their business here. And it's so great to see when that type of commitment remains through the generations of the family. So what a great opportunity. So thank you, John, for letting us be a part of this today. So with that, we've got a number of speakers, and then we're going to hear from John and about all the renovations that go on here. But to start off first, representing the city of Marshfield is Mayor Bob McManus. Mayor?
Good morning, everybody. This is really, boy, when you come out here, it's really overwhelming. It really is just so impressive. And we're so thankful to the Baltus family for this expansion. It really looks, and we know for sure that if it's got the Baltus name on it, it's going to be good quality. So we're very excited about that. We're very excited about this re-grand opening. And so we just want you to know that on behalf of the city, your common council, and all the citizens of Marshfield, congratulations on your re-grand opening. We wish you a lot of continued success, and thank you for calling Marshfield home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We appreciate your efforts and the City Council's efforts and the staff at City Hall to help make Marshfield a great place to live and do business. Up next, representing the Mackey Board of Directors is our President, Matt Eckelberg. Matt?
Well, thank you all for coming. John and family, on behalf of the board and Mackey, we'd like to congratulate you on this wonderful expansion. Thank you for continuing to keep Marshfield as your home base, as Mayor Bob has said before. If you need any help, please be sure to reach out to Mackey. We'll do the best we can to help you with everything you got. Thank you. Congrats.
Likewise, Matt, thank you, and thank you to the Board of Directors and the Chamber to help make that a strong organization. Well, this location is located in our downtown. We always talk about wanting to have a vibrant and vital downtown, and it's great to continue to see building continue and advancement continue in the downtown. And representing Main Street Marshfield is Josh Kilty. Josh?
Thanks, Scott. On behalf of Downtown Marshfield, Main Street Marshfield, we'd like to thank the Baltus family for continuing their growth. And obviously, this is kind of fun for me because I started here, my work career started in this car wash. It's kind of fun to see the new renovation of it. So thank you to the Baltus family again, and on behalf of Main Street, we not only welcome you, but thank you for your participation. Great.
Josh, thank you to you and the rest of the Main Street board members. The organization works very hard to make sure that our downtown is an active place to be. Well, now we're going to hear what's happened here in this location, and the Baltus family is here, and I'm going to turn it now over to John now to explain a little more about what's gone on here. John?
Thank you all. Good morning to everybody. Sherry and I and the family really appreciate all of you coming out this morning. We've got a great turnout. We have a lot of family members here and friends, and the city of Marshfield's usual wonderful turnout. And Mackey does a great job, the ambassadors here, Main Street. It's just a wonderful, wonderful sight to see so many people come out for a ribbon cutting. We do business in some other communities, and sometimes you don't get this kind of turnout regardless of what day it is or what time it is or anything else. So Marshfield really has a great, vibrant, wonderful organization for businesses. And the city of Marshfield is open for business too. I appreciate the comments of the mayor. We've been doing business in Marshfield for lots of years, and it's Marshfield itself, the city, the community, the common council, the mayor, city administration has always been there for us to work with us. If we needed zoning variances or changes of some sort, they were always flexible and willing to work with whatever we offered, and sometimes we didn't get what we wanted, but at least we had a fair hearing on it. And so the city does a wonderful job of doing what they do to keep business vibrant in Marshfield, not just in the downtown area here as Main Street does, but all throughout the city, so we really appreciate that. So I just have a few comments I wanted to make before we get into the explanation of the car wash here. when this is all over with, you're probably going to know a heck of a lot more about car washes than you really want to know. But it just goes with the territory. So there's no chairs to sit down. We'll try to make this brief as we can. Again, thanks to everybody for coming. I'd like to thank the contractors who worked on this project. We try to use all local contractors regardless of bids or whatever. Sometimes we face criticism from out-of-town people who bid on projects and say, well, we're the low bid. And so you're not from Marshfield, you came to me, I didn't come to you. And so we try to use local contractors whenever possible because we have such a wonderful group of local contractors here to use. Don Nicolai Construction is here today. Rob and Dave and crew, Dennis, everybody from Nicolai Construction does a very first-class job, very professional, and they've done our work for, I think the first one they built was in 1982. Arlen was just telling me he wanted a microwave back at the grand opening. And still using his left arm is all cancered up from opening and closing the door, but he's still using that microwave. The Nicolai's built our first store, and they built this one. They do about 99% of our work whenever possible. They do a fantastic job. Merritt Electric was our electrician in this organization and in this project, did a wonderful job. Oil Equipment was an out-of-town firm we used for car wash equipment. There aren't many car wash contractors in Marshfield area, so we used them to do the car wash work, and they did a fantastic job. They're all here today as well. It's much more complicated than that looks to put together a car wash with all the computer generation and everything that has to come together to wash a car. You wouldn't think it's the case, but there's a lot of bells and whistles that have to come together to do that every time to wash a car. So they did a wonderful job. Performance Printing did all of our signs and graphics. They did a wonderful job out there, fantastic. Heinzen Printing did all of our uniforms and brochures, and they even did some of our visual aids I'm going to show you here in just a bit. So really appreciate that. BMO Harris was our financial partner on this particular project. We have a lot of wonderful financial people here today. We use almost all of them, I believe, for various things at different times of the year and different projects. So we appreciate the local financial help that we get from our local banking organizations. And I wanted to thank Lacey Reddick here as our manager of this operation. She manages the convenience store and the car wash now, so she's doing double duty. So she'll make sure you have fresh coffee and a good clean car when you come through here. But she and her staff with Cass and Will and the whole crew do just a wonderful job. So let's give her a round. As I said, we've been in business here for over 90 years. I think this is our 93rd year being in business in Marshfield, and it's a wonderful place to do business. Central Wisconsin is just a fabulous place to live and to work and to raise a family and to do business. And we've been successful here for a lot of years because of people like you and our customer base who keeps coming back and who enjoys having local businesses survive and succeed. And we try to give them reasons to come to our operations, and hopefully this car wash will be one of them. But I wanted to go through a couple of, just a real brief presentation here. This won't take too long. Yeah, there you go. My son Daniel back there. So my grandfather, Frank, he was the first guy in Marshfield to have a car wash. This is it. Mid-20s. His car wash was named the home service station car laundry wash. So they called it car laundry back then. They were washing Model A's and Model T's, and kind of a different deal there. But that car wash back then was consisted basically of Grandpa with a rag and a bucket washing cars. That was it, by hand. And there wasn't anything fancy about it. And knowing Grandpa Frank, you probably would have got a shot of brandy with every car wash. Yeah. You want to go to the next one?
Where was that located?
That was right on the corner of First, right across from the police department, kitty corner from Marshfield Police Department and First and Chestnut. So right on the intersection of heading east on Veterans Parkway is where that place was. Some of the people in the room probably might remember that, some of them. Anyway, my dad came into the business in the late 40s, and then in 1962 built this car wash just a block from here on 5th and Chestnut, and I'm sure a lot of you remember that one. And it really, Bill, did you work in that one?
No,
I think your brother might
I was
have.
employed back
Anyway, this was way more sophisticated than Grandpa's wash by a long way, but it really wasn't all that technical. You can see that even back then, there was a conveyor back then. It was the first conveyorized full-service car wash, but you still had to have human beings in there, in the tunnel, washing cars with yellow wetsuits on to get the car clean. And that would go through a very, very poor rinse cycle and then a dry cycle on the end. But that was in business for a lot of years until 1987 when we built this facility here. This is the site of the former Burke Pontiac car dealership, and Klein Auto Parts was next door. And both closed businesses, kind of a blighted part of the downtown area. And our dad had the idea of maybe taking those businesses and turning them into a new car wash out on Central Avenue. Since the clinic had changed locations here, Chestnut Avenue didn't have the vibrancy that it once had, and so we needed to get out on Central Avenue so people knew where we were. So that car wash stayed in existence. This one, when it was opened in 1987, if you want to pull the next one off of there. We cut the ribbon here in April of 1987, almost 32 years to the day from the day we're cutting the ribbon again here today. You can see some of the cast of characters here. The Redcoats are over here, and Mayor Kepke is over here, and my dad, and Darby Bushman. Is Darby here at all? No, is that okay? Darby was the manager of the old car wash on 5th and Chestnut, this car wash, for been with us for 45 years. And then, of course, Marlon Hardick, who was the chamber director at the time. And we asked Marlon to be here today. She's a little bit under the weather. She's in the hospital. And our thoughts and prayers go out to her. She's having a kind of struggle right now, but she said she would have loved to have been here to reopening here. So we had that car wash grand opening in April of '87, and the ribbon cutting was the only thing that went well that day. As you can see right now, it looks great outside, but a couple hours after that picture was taken, it started to snow. And it didn't stop snowing until sometime the next day. And it was like 1.5 feet of snow. When you have a grand opening for a car wash, that's not a good thing. But that's why we do this 3 weekends in a row now, instead of having, like today, this morning, it's kind of a dreary morning. So we're going to have some dreary days. We're going to do this weekend, next weekend, and the following weekend. Ribbon cutting only the one time though. And we'll hit 1 or 2 good days in there, I'm sure, sometime. This afternoon's supposed to clear up and be pretty nice. But anyway, that's good to thanks. So after that car wash, the full service car wash, which was really a dynamic state-of-the-art facility back in the 80s, all of a sudden these automatics started popping up, automatic car washes at all these convenience stores. And now you see them, I think we have a dozen of them in Marshfield here, different days of car washes. And they do a great job, they really do, but they're not very efficient. They don't, you have to bring your car in like a garage, park the car, and all the equipment goes around the car and goes over the car, comes to the car, versus a situation like a conveyorized car wash here, where you can spread out the equipment and you can time it right so it gives the optimum wash product, and it does it a heck of a lot quicker. Typical automatic wash is a 5-minute to 15-minute process, depending on which package you buy. And that's kind of a long period of time. Like a Saturday morning, you got things to do. You pull into a line when it's a busy car wash day, and you got 10 minutes per car to wait to get out of there so you can get in. You got a couple hours tied up in the thing, and it's just very inefficient. People's time is worth way more than that. And so these new car washes, we've kind of gone full circle now with conveyorized washes. These went out of stead in the 80s and 90s, and then are now coming back. So the conveyor wash is now the new wash of the 21st century. So that's what we have here. There's nothing else like it anywhere around here. Central Wisconsin's got a couple of them. But I think you'll find when you go through it, hopefully everybody got a certificate for a free car wash if you didn't come and see me afterward. When you go through it, you'll find out that when you get on that conveyor, you're out of here in less than 3 minutes. And if there's a line of cars out there, it just keeps moving. It's not one of those things that you have to take a half a Saturday to wash your car. So it's a much more efficient wash. It's a much better wash, actually, to be honest, than an automatic type wash. And so we wanted to be, we were the cutting edge back when Grandpa had his deal back in the 20s, to have a car wash, to have something labeled a car laundry. And our car washes in the past here, and this is the most dynamic wash that you've ever experienced in Marshfield too. So anyway, just wanted to give you kind of an update on car wash technology and the industry. And I didn't put you to sleep with that. Appreciate it. But thanks to everybody for coming. I really appreciate it. This is a great turnout, and we really absolutely appreciate all of you being here. And we've got a lot of coffee and donuts and prizes to win out there. So if you have an opportunity, if you haven't been up front there yet, go ahead and sign up for the prizes. And I guess we're ready to cut the ribbon.
We are.
Great.
John, get the rest of the group along the ribbon here. And are you going to operate the heavy equipment? Okay. Everybody lined up? Yep. I'm going to count to 3, John.
All right.
1, 2, 3. All right. John, again, thank you for your investment, your family's investment here in Marshfield. Thank you for continuing to invest in your businesses, particularly here in Marshfield. We appreciate that very much. I think the weather's just perfect. We're going to generate a lot of people who need car washes. So your next few days are going to look great for the car wash. So as John mentioned, please stick around. Obviously, we're here for the car wash aspect, but obviously they've got the convenience store aspects, all the services that are available here as well. So please do stick around and see all the other goodies that they have available here this morning. On behalf of the Marshfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, this will conclude our ribbon cutting ceremony for the Baltus Express Car Wash. And thank you all for being here.